There it is. A brave little army in your pocket. The first Smokes platoon. 20 brave souls standing in salute, ready to step into the fire for you, sir. You picked the best one. This soldier is fat and succulent. What are you waiting for? Line up. Re-become yourself. Oh yes, Bratan. The tie shaking around your neck excitedly. Please light up. You need a trooper between your lips right now. Calm your shit down. Go to Pleasureland. Become a genius. Get a load of this rock and roll cup here, people. Johnny Thundercup fishes the cheap lighter out of his pants. With a flick of the thumb, there's a fire. A primal satisfaction. Here we go. The lighter's dark green disposable plastic. Safety's off. In your case, the safety's always off. What are the repercussions if I do this? Repercussions? There's a high risk of glory with a mild chance of cool genius. Smoking makes you into an intellectual, everybody knows that. It will help you concentrate a bit, that much is true. It only lets you concentrate because you're a nicotine withdrawal. It only mitigates its own. Blah blah blah. Boring. Light it up. Thick warm smoke gets sucked down into your lungs. Immediately you feel warm nostalgia fill your head, body and soul. A nostalgia for yourself, the man you were in your youth. Johnny Thundercup is back, and he's chill as balls. A simple little cadence. He seems to be making it up as he goes.
From another planet. Hey there.
I am the law.
Yes, you are, my man.
What's going on here?
It's the jam, my man.
The air from the east is thick with the smell of crude oils, heavy metals, and other byproducts of the modern era. You can almost taste it. What's the jam?
It's a traffic jam for the ages. Harbor gates up the street are shut tight. No explanation given. Workers on strike, scabs agitating, an all-around clusterfuck. Meanwhile, we're all stuck here in long-haul limbo for days upon days upon days. Upon days.
Limbo, huh? So that's where I am.
Yeah, exactly.
It's official. He too agrees. This is the antechamber of the afterlife. So how long have you been here?
Feels near forever. Like I was born on this here roundabout and this was all I ever knew. Just me and the metal and the tires, the oil and the fumes of mazout.
Mazout is an antiquated term for heavy fuels oils. This man has barely suppressed performative streak. Or he just likes unusual words. Or both. Extravagantly praised, but I can roll with it.
Yeah, imagine. It's been a whole week already.
Behind the laugh, however, a touch of sorrow.
So tell me, what do you need?
Tell me more about this strike. It's like whatever's going on over at the docks. Workers got a blockade set up, making demands, no in or out. Going on a strike would probably help you dodge a bullet or two. Maybe I should go on a strike. Maybe you should. Cops don't get paid much and the hours are long, plus you can get shot. Why not? The RCM is a self-managing organization that operates on donations. We promote our own leaders. It would be like striking against your own mother. I don't know my mother, but I'd go on strike against her too, for my rights. Okay, the lieutenant face betrays little reaction, but do continue. You are asking about the strike? What's the unions demanding? Some pretty wild stuff, I hear, like a giant new power crane, and half the company? I forgot what exactly. Good on them, I guess. I've heard talk there's a company rep in town too, like a strike negotiator type. They know what's up, precise demands and so on. Ah yes, from the Wild Pines. He takes a note. We'll meet her soon enough, I'm sure. What do you think the company wants? They want to keep that money flowing in, my man. He makes a ka-ching sound. He doesn't blame them, but he's not on their side, that's for sure. Anything else I should know? Anything else? He thinks. Yeah, this isn't really my area of expertise. I just do my job and get paid. I have things to do and places to be. All of us do. All of who? Us lorry drivers? Communeers? If you still hang around here waiting for this mess to end, must have scurried off somewhere, to get drunk or high, or late. He smiles awkwardly. Not that I blame him, really. Not you? Not my thing. Chasing transient pleasure is a drag these days. I prefer the examined life now. Thinking, reflecting, observing. He glances down the road towards the horizon, a glint of something in his eyes. What's better than chasing transient pleasure? The more transient, the better. When one's ended, you can get on to the next one. He tries his best to look nonchalant, but there's a rigidity in him, as if trying to conceal something warm and deep beneath a cool exterior. Well, what are you holding anyway? Oh, high-grade narcotics, illegal firearms, stuff like that. Time to arrest him! Relax, he's merely joking. Wicked! I've always wanted a friend in the underworld. Ha! No, I'm joking, my man, he grins. Fawn runs a nice clean business. This house of carve is mostly sporting goods, you know, tracksuits and that kind of thing. They usually get shipped to Grat and the Occident, though we've been making headway in the Lille-Maran market lately. So, nothing illegal then? Unless they've illegalized sports equipment while I was on the road. Never! They would never illegalize sport. Sport is the most wholesome thing known to man. That's your machine behind you. Is striking beauty? He points to the lorry with his thumb. Sure is, like a rush you can't get rid of. You interested in heavy-duty cargo machinery? A motor lorry, also called a camion, in Caglio and neighboring islands. This one looks roughed up enough to be some sort of fawn rust bucket, maybe the A6? That's a fawn A6 you got there. Good eye, my man. Yep, she's an old one, but reliable. He gives the side of the lorry a friendly knock. Me and her spend a long time together. There it is again. A little touch of sadness beneath his cool. He thinks he spent too long in this lorry. Could I get one of those fawn tracksuits you're hauling? They're pals and all, but I can't just freely hand out merchandise. The bosses won't be happy. There's no denying it. Your body needs to feel the touch of some good performance wear. Right. Add another question. The man taps his finger rhythmically against his arm. In his eyes, a half-familiar longing, flecks of brown and gold. Familiar? How? It's hard to say. His gaze wanders southwest, down the street that goes beyond the horizon. The road continues for miles, flowing together with other roads, turning into causeways or bridges, ending suddenly in dead ends, or ramping up or down highways. It forms a crisscross pattern across the land. Where does it lead? Above the Jamrock corridor, in the form of a race motorway, and then the never-ending sprawl of Faubourg, high above building new and old, the air filled with the rumble of motor engines. Further, to the old south, to the farthest outskirts of Ravenhall, to the checkered fields of farmland upstream, to the river Esperance, past Monte Martin, the border approaches. What's beyond the border? You cannot see it. It's out of the city. Up ahead, the mist blocks outside. A gale blows across your cheeks. It is cold. Before you stands a tall lorry driver with sad eyes. What's in the southwest? Excuse me? He emerges from the reverie. A flinch jogs his frame. The question has touched a nerve. I'm a cop. I can fix anything. He chuckles. There are things even a cop can't fix, my man. There's no help in an absence, you know. I miss my family. They're all I have. My wife, a second kid on the way, waiting all the way in the Ora. And here I am, stuck in this shit, so far from home. The Ora? They are of the seven seas. It's on the other end of Lake Callio, pretty much, on another island called Laurentide, off mainland. We've got a little place there. I can almost hear my kid laugh when it snows. What it's like to miss someone. What it's like? Good and bad. An ache that brings you joy. He smiles warmly. I think of them a lot. I dream of these city scenarios in great detail, of living with them. It comforts me. There's a pause and a sigh, and he turns his eyes to you. What about you, cop man? You missing someone? Is that what it is? This feeling? No, it's scarier than that. You're pursued by a hunter, smelling of apricot and sorrow and the past. I miss my gun. I lost it. You lost your gun? Oh man, that's bad news, especially here in Martinez. Hope you find it soon before things turn foul. But thanks for this. It's nice to talk to someone. I know it wasn't easy to ask, he smiles. I hope you find your way through your own troubles. Got any smokes on you? Nope, don't smoke. He nods towards the big lorry behind him. Some of the other drivers do though. There's still a few around waiting for the jump to disperse, waiting for the sweet release of death. Hey, isn't he like smoking right now? The smell is in the air. Sure you smoke. You're smoking right now. Okay, his eyes smiled, but this is my last one. It's a bad habit. You should quit before both of us have lung cancer. Are you sure you don't already have lung cancer? Care to spare some change for a working stiff? Huh? Some financial this is snapping out of his days. Oh, no, I ain't got any money. They don't want to pay for unfinished work. They? Who? The bosses, man. I don't know who these bosses think they are, but that sounds like a good arrangement for them. Yeah, it sure ain't good for me, or you. Spare a coin or two for a city cop down on his luck if I had to say for myself. I'm good for now. Good talk. Don't be a stranger. He gives a salute with two fingers. Here we go. Home awaits. Walk past station 41st and through the market, past the boogie street spearhead on the other side of the lake, the frozen eye at the center of the district, then past the video rental store on the corner. There, at the end of the street, lined with pine trees, a small house, no larger than a matchbox. 11 Voyager Road. You no longer live here. Those times are gone, and so are those people. Why did you come here? Why are you still here? And where's the dealer? You have to get back to work. That's all I have now.
Hello again, officer. How are things?
The body is gone. Like gone? The girl repeats, her face beaming with appreciation. It's not in the yard anymore, it's in some other place now. In heaven? Quick smile. Thank you, officer. Looks like I'll get mint in the ground by April. You get a strange feeling looking at that smiles. It spoils the moment. It is disingenuous. What's going on here? Surely it was nothing, sire. Just paranoia. What is this fuck the police business? Excuse me? She doesn't understand. She's uncomfortable. Maybe you should drop this line of questioning. This street sign says fuck the police. Oh, she cranes her neck. Well, I didn't write it there. I'm just sitting here. You didn't say she wrote it. You asked what it was doing there. What about the other sign? Pigs go home. Who are these pigs? I don't know anything about that either. As I said, I didn't write it. Pigs is a widely used term for members of the police. It's that loving. Even if she didn't write it, she should clean it. You could clean it up if you get a chance. Be a citizen. Be a winner. Okay, she's turning her back. She probably is not gonna do it. No matter how strong you think you are, this is really not something you should be attempting to do with your bare hands. You stick the pry bar into the fissure beneath the lid and push down. It doesn't take much force. With a satisfying crack, the metal gives away. You can open the lid now. Don't! Maybe you shouldn't. Didn't I just have a premonition that there's something in there? There is, but you won't like it. Sweat forms on your brow. Your hand is still on the lid. The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty racks, and organic waste. We're just in time, the lieutenant peers in. This hasn't been emptied for over a week. You see milk, an egg rest with one broken egg in it, some pasta wrapper. Picking up the soggy package somehow feels familiar. You've done this before. The movements are recorded in your elbows, the metallurgy in your fingers. You're used to this. Used to what? Dumpster diving? No, searching for evidence in the trash. Dive further. The box falls into pieces into your hands. Batiste Soleil cereal. There are plastic pasta packages below and turbo noodles. Nothing of note, however. Among the threadbare kitchen towels, something catches your eye. A pair of denim trousers. As the legs of the slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from the garbage, a rank corpse smell fills the air. Are these the victim's clothes? The smell is not nearly as bad as the cadaver. These clothes could not have been in contact with the deceased for more than 2 days after his death. The lieutenant smells them. Cadaverine odor is faint. These belong to the deceased. They were removed when he was still in the early stages of decay. The lieutenant produced a black plastic bag marked evidence from his pocket. Drop them in here, officer. By early stages, you mean these were taken from him no more than 2 days after his death? Yes, he nods. If you're still assuming the clothes were taken off to get to the armor, they must have stripped him off it fast. The scavengers. In a matter of days. Kim quickly searches the jeans. Guitar, marked blue jeans. Pockets empty. Or emptied. He wore them with a belt too. A white belt. The loops appear stretched. But he looks into the container. The belt is missing. That's it. Do you see anything else in there? I have another bag here. Something slimy catches your eye. A drab long-sleeved shirt, olive-colored, appears from the foot waist, dripping with pus. This is a military type overgarment, no label or serial number. This is the kind of ripped knitting shirt that's worn over light armor to conceal it in an urban scenario. Anything more? The rest of the racks are just kitchen variety waste. A yellow old mug that catches your eye, but other than that, a thrown out towel, a mug, that's all. Alright, we should go to Gart again and ask if he knows who put the clothes in the trash. It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard, or that one, he nods toward the red-haired boy behind him. I advise against confronting that force. Yeah, we need to ask the kids who put them here. The fuck he's on about? Kids? The one behind the fence yells. You hear that, Kuno? He thinks you're an infant or something. See? You think someone from the whirling might have been involved, maybe? Not really. All we know is the victim's clothes are in the trash, the lid was locked, and this establishment had the key. It's just a small loose thread. Okay. The lieutenant nods, then looks back into the trash container. It's just organic waste, cold and slimy on your hands. Apple and potato peels mostly, identified sludge, and the occasional chicken bone thrown in for good measure. But hey, nothing is nothing. Nothing more to see here. What's this? What? A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. It's shiny. Looks like the corner of something. Something larger. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist papers hanging from it. They look badly damaged, but you can still make out forms and notes, written in a man's handwriting. Not just any man. This damn cursive. It's yours. Officer, is that your paperwork? No, it can't be. Yes, it is. Look, he points at it. This plastic has the RCM street grid on it. Even got an autopsy form. A miserable looking slip of paper sticks to the board. Jesus. If you don't mind my asking, how could you have let your paperwork end up in the trash? Okay. It must have been cramping my style. Officer, this is an official piece of paperwork. It probably contains notes on numerous ongoing investigations and could even list undercover operatives, informants. I suggest integrating it into your style, for all our sakes. Easier said than done. How could this pathetic cabbage of copy paper and plastic ever become tres disco? Challenge accepted. Should be on the lookout for stylistic elements that elevate this cabbage to heights unforeseeable. I don't know, it seems foreboding to me somehow, like there's something in there that's out to get me. What are you talking about? No one's out to get you. Get real, man. Upgrade that cop ledger. Alright then. Seems like a good idea, right after the garbage, of course. Good choice. Soy carton and some kind of food sludge welcome you back invitingly. Officer, the lieutenant adds, this is sensitive information. You need to take this seriously. I don't know, man. Sounds like an order. I don't take those. I see, yes. You're what we call a badass, aren't you? He makes a little quotation mark around the words, indicating he's unsure if it's actual badassery. Wow, went off script there. Getting your ass handed to you. You shouldn't go picking fights if your rhetorical faculties haven't suggested it. Jeez. Tell me, does your badass see more in there, or are we done here? The lieutenant peers into the trash. Soy cartons and rags look back at him. Oh yes, it would also be appropriate to start taking notes on the case. It's what cops do. The mug. I'm getting that mug too. You pick out a broken mug with an oddly racist depiction of the yellow man frolicking in saffron. An antique? Only his social sensibilities. Okay. The man briefly glances at the mug, then returns his sight to the trash. The container sounds a muffled gong. That's one thing off the list, the lieutenant sounds relieved. I think we got it all. In the ledger he found in the trash, a pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from a plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. This sad display is made completely by the faint smell of urinal cleaner. Anything else? There's a piece of toilet paper, or is it cleaning tissue? No, it's toilet paper, desperately sticking to the back of the blue plastic clipboard. It's metaphor, for you. Thank you, waterclogged ledger, for spelling it out for us. Below the pathetic terror, the knife looked into his blue heart. It's just toilet paper sticking to the back of the plastic cupboard. You can take it off if you want. Maybe it's kitchen tissue. They look exactly the same. If you want it to be kitchen tissue, it can be kitchen tissue. It's not though. It's toilet paper. Still wet. Toilet paper. I mean, kitchen tissue, sorry, peels off the plastic easily. All you have to do is take it off your finger and voila, the ledger now looks marginally better. Aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. Its crocodile teeth are the only thing keeping the papers together. A regular pencil, the tip worn down to nothing, has been attached to the clip. The surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular, sparkling with iridescence. You don't know how you didn't notice it before. Looks like an official mark made to be low visibility outside the right circumstances. It is similar to the RCM watermark on your blazer the lieutenant mentioned. Didn't he say something about the headlights of his motor carriage? That you can read these there? Lieutenant, is this one of the hologram watermarks you mentioned? What? He's lost in his own notes. Takes a moment for him to see it. Yes, a halogen watermark used for adding information to RCM property. Interesting. What kind of information? It depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting stamp, mine has my station number and address. The information varies by date of issue. Maybe yours will have how many cases you've solved, how many years you've been on the force. He's thinking. It'll have that. Your kill counts. Yours will surely have your kill counts. How can I read it? Any capable life with the right wavelength will do. You mentioned the headlights of your kinema? Yes. There's a pause. LCM vehicle have headlights tuned especially to reveal halogen watermarks. This means you can read the watermarks if you just turn the lights on. That's all. Thank you. Okay, he returns to his neatly kept notes. Well, a bunch of sodden paper sagged from the clipboard in your hand. It's a storage site. They are not exactly white. They are yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol, and covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes into watercolor pattern, reaching its tendril across the entire pages. The paper itself is checkered with faint red lines, forming short paragraphs. Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files, commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden crumpled up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands. They appear to be sufficiently organized and extremely dense, if mostly illegible. What is in there? What are they about? Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigation dating back to January 51st this year. The exact number is hard to estimate due to missing pages and an odd naming convention, but there are at least 20, maybe 30 cases undertaken, not completed, mind you. It's the middle of March. You have attempted 2 cases a week on average. What do you mean? Is that all? That's it? The notebook is annual. It said 51st on what remains of its cover. A molten scrap of cardboard. Everything prior to it must have belonged to the previous volume. In short, there was more. Judging by the creases on your forehead and the lines on your cheek, too much more. Going back years, decades even. Is 2 cases a week a good caseload, Lieutenant? Huh? He raises his nose from his notes. 2 complex cases to undertake is a lot, yes. You really have to push yourself. Would not suggest it, lest you start making mistakes. 2 cases a week appears to have been my load, Lieutenant. I'm not sure I completed them, though. 2. He raises both eyebrows. That's a lot. I didn't mean to say you're making mistakes, by the way. That was presumptuous of me. I burned out, alright. That's okay, he nods, then turns back to his own case files. We all do, sooner or later. Not you. You are an eternal machine. Like a fan of gills, the checkered papers dry in your hands. The handwriting is extremely dense, if mostly illegible. It's inornate, nearly illegible, yet marching in orderly lines. Pedagogical, whatever. Somehow, brash. It must to be yours for you to be able to read it. These are the lines of someone who has written by hand a lot and has developed a style only they themselves or you yourself can decipher. Written in a rush, in pain, a race to beat your own heart's pulse to some dark finish line. Your hand cramps up merely looking at the scribbles drawn as by some magnet to the red checkered margin. Fast, but always straight. Who is this person? Wearing out, nearly gone. Sometimes he forgets to keep the pen on the papers as he moves his hand and the lines vanish from underneath. There was mention of a naming convention here? Yes. It appears you employ, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on the margins, yet still more tellingly, most are accompanied by a name. A title, one might say even, one that draws inspiration from Snoop fiction and Vespertine cop show staples. Oh my, and they're written in capital letters too. Yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural, another The Square Bullet Hole Murders, another yet The Unsolvable Case. More? Others appear more light-hearted. The guys on couch in an unexpected location in the murder at the hookah parlor. Even the rare article-free collapsing tenement. Murder featured prominently throughout. You like this grimy murdering, don't you? Wish there was one in there about a drug den. You love those. Gets the blood pumping. No, you don't. You're a human measuring instrument, almost entirely intellectual. It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done later, once you're done inspecting them up close. Kim, my case appeared to employ some kind of naming convention. You mean the alphanumeric officer pressing time over dial at the scene? No, I mean a non-numeric one with titles. Oh, you mean the titular? Yes, well, so do I. In our defense, almost everyone in the RCM does. Why is that? It's a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution, when organization had title idea how to do things. Not title, little idea, sorry about that. It persists in an unofficial capacity. Officers use these titles to refer to their work among themselves. I seem to have named the case the Square Bullet Hole Murders. Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one. He peeks into his notes. The man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still, I named it that, to amuse myself. Pray, he smiles. I pray his loved ones never find out. What happened to him? Arrow spiked through the head. He died. It was a workplace accident. I have to open an official case. Is there a room? There is, for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms a structure of passage, breaking the case into sub-tasks to accomplish. Once all the tasks are accomplished, the case is complete. Sadly, the ledger only comes with an old worn-down lead pencil. It's unfitting of this monumental event. The ledger only comes with an old worn-down lead pencil. It will do barely, but... Kim, do you have a pen? The lieutenant looks at his blue notebook. 2 fat, shiny pens hang from the binders like large caliber bullets on an ammo belt. It's downright incriminating. He has little choice but to give you one, although he really doesn't want to. He's not really saying anything, just standing there looking at him. You know you have to give me one to me, right? That is how human society works, I believe. Wordless, he pulls one from the loop and hands it to you. The pen is cold blue and ready to write. With this beauty, commit to paper. The tasks you've completed flow out of the blue oblong pen in a brush freehand uncannily similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily. It's almost robotically simple, a language developed for mental rigor and simplicity. Inspect victim's body. Get the body down. Interview the cafeteria manager. It's not exactly poetry, but poetry would be out of place. A statifying slash sound across the paper. You're done, it seems to say. And you, and a fuck you to you too. That last one cuts a slash right through the paper. You're a swashbuckler with that pen, Harry. It feels good, feels like completion. Oh my god. Things to be done and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of the citizens' militia. And all that remains is to name the case. Lieutenant, have you by any chance named our case? No, actually. Any ideas? Ah, the original title of the game. Shit on a stick. Ha, yes. Isn't actually laughing. I have to tell you, officer, I don't appreciate ironic titles. But officers will have to use this as reference if it's idiot or cockfinger. They're not going to get it. They're going to think an idiot and a cockfinger were in this case. So, do you have something less funny? Fun is out loud with this guy. What a narc. The setting sun. Okay, he nods. It's a good name, but it has one problem. This has nothing to do with setting sun at all. It has nothing to do with that. So, something more concrete, perhaps? Do you have something concrete, mundane, usual? Usual is boring. We don't do that. The furries are at home in the mirror. Furries, yes. Well, it's obvious he doesn't like it. I don't know. I have to be honest. I'm not expecting the internal strife that refers to it. Experiencing the internal strife that refers to. And also, first his brow. Could we make it less poetic somehow. Just a normal case name, you know, thing. What would that be? A good, normal name? Yes, you know what normal name is, but it's so plain. Anything else, please? The Hanged Man. Great! That's great! That's actually what I was thinking too. The Hanged Man. Good, strong name. We have a very good name for the case now. He flips the pages of his notebook. I'm going to start calling it The Hanged Man. It's good we sorted it out. Well, I'm done inspecting layers. You don't exactly close them as much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose. Yes, you can piece them together using the alphabetical code on the margin. You always begin with HDB 41, then date of finalization and time of arrival on the scene, followed by the title for the example, HDB 411-20117. The next word, mural? Wait, HDB 41. Weren't those officer precincts? Why yes, your precinct number is 41. In HDB, every last alphanumeric in the file begins with it, and these are your case files. It's safe to say HDB are your initial. Horus David Berenger? That is improbable. How long does it take to read the case? It takes about half an hour to piece one together using the system you've devised. Where do you want to start? The couch in an unexpected location. Some asshole brought their couch outside and hung out on it. In the middle of the street, on the roof, on the hillside by the motorway, you know? At an unexpected location. They were young and they thought they looked cool on it. They actually look like an asshole. Insufferable dicks. Young people are the worst. So anyway, you gotta complain about the damn sofa or couch or whatever it was. They were leaving it out in all these unexpected and whimsical locations they took it to, where they also took photos of themselves on it and smoked cigarettes and drank coffee because they felt it's intellectual. Cigarette butts, coffee cups, stupid couch. You had to clean it all up, and you did. So congratulations to you, case solved. Did I ever catch those guys? No, you didn't have time for that. These notes show that you have what is called a real goddamn job. You don't have time to be chasing down the couch assholes. You have a real job to do. What's next? The unsolvable case. AKA Leslie and Burke, AKA the public indecent drunk and the property damage drunk, is a cursed case. It has been passed from unsuspecting officer to unsuspecting officer for 10 years. On January 29th, the unsolvable case made its way to you. Why you accept this is unclear. Every officer, and indeed most civilians in Jamrock, know it's unsolvable. You were so drunk you didn't remember what it was when you signed on. That you were high. Leslie will always take his pants off when he's drunk. Burke will always trash everything. Just what they do. It's their nature. You cannot change the nature of a man. You cannot lock them away because public indecency and small-scale property damage are not punishable by incarnation. Whatever. The only way for Leslie to stop flashing his genitals to bypassers and for Burke to stop dismantling signage and rearview mirrors would be for them to stop drinking alcohol, which, in their 40s or 50s, it's hard to tell because of their distorted features, is a medical improbability on par with you ceasing to produce the expression. Could we just keep them off the streets? You would think that, but you're wrong. What's the fun in exposing your genitals or breaking stuff in your own home? No. Leslie and Burke are on the corner of Main Street and Perditon because that's where the action is. Oh my god. Can you keep yourself off the streets? Threatening, fines, dragging them to the station, locking them up in the hellholes they live in, locking them up in the station, hypnotherapy, even trying to get a little gang of Zemlikias to take them out. The Zemliaks gave them ethanol so Burke and Leslie would expose and rampage even harder. You tried it all, and still the complaints wouldn't stop, as they hadn't stopped for 10 years. Damn. It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH had more important cases to attend to. You uncovered cross-reference to several ongoing investigations each brought to a standstill every time you drive down Main Street. Because there they are, the corner of Perriton, and what is Leslie doing? Public indecency. Good, you're learning. If the fires are to be trusted, that's how they race to it. That and Burke breaking things. And the fact that they're both drunk. But then again, so are you. The case becomes considerably less comic one day when Burke takes a swing at you later. He must have it confused with the property he likes to damage. But the joke's on him. You're drunk out of your mind on potent Pilsner. You slam the hardened plastic board in his face, then you proceed to beat him unconscious with it. In the process, the ledger sustains damage. The compartment within, reserved for permaboat documents, is jammed shut. You stop your assault on the now unconscious Burke to open it, but are unable to do so. The officer began to cry. Reports Leslie, who at this point is standing to Burke. Kill them! They broke it! He came at us, and at us. I think he was trying to kill Burko. Or trying to kill Burko, you slowly come around. The permaboat compartment is open. You've smashed it open on poor Burko's kneecaps. Good news is Burke can't walk anymore. Jesus. Can't get out of his apartment. An invalid. With Burke to tend to, Leslie cuts back on the indecent exposure. Maybe he flashes his genitals to Burke, who knows? But both drunks are off the street. The complete stop. And so case is solved. Damn. Which is also why the officer responsible narrowly escapes a disciplinary hearing. The end. Do you want to read another one? The Square Bullet Hole Murders.